Okay, let's look at some graphs. We'll start by plotting. And here I just have a quadratic 5x squared plus 4x. And I'm going to graph that over the domain as x goes from -10 to 10. For the domain, you want to list that in braces. Again, every time you have a command, you put it inside of brackets. So do Shift Enter. There's my graph. And notice that Mathematica automatically sized my range, assuming that I wanted to see the y values for all x values -10 to 10. So here I'm going to add a plot range because I only want to see y values from -10 to 10. So I'm going to take this same command and copy it, and then paste it. And after my domain, I'll do a plot range. And that suggestion came up with the arrow. And I want the plot range to go from -10 to 10. Again, those ranges, domains and ranges go inside braces. Shift Enter. Same graph, just on a different values showing. Just change the scale of the graph. And it doesn't really matter what we graph. Here I have a cosine function. So plot a cosine, and again, cosine is a function that Mathematica knows. You need capital letters for Mathematica functions. X minus pi divided by 2 as x goes from -pi to pi. Run the command. And again, notice that it adjusted the range appropriately for a cosine or sine function. Here I'm going to change this so that the y values, or the output, goes from -3 to 3. And again, that's plot range. Goes from -3 to 3. And you could also graph two functions. So I'm going to graph the essentially the same graph. I'm going to copy and paste it. And here I just have cosine x. But because I'm going to graph two functions, that's a list. Lists go inside braces. I'm going to graph a cosine and a sine. From x goes from -pi to pi, and the plot range goes from -3 to 3. Notice it gives me two graphs. You can adjust the types of graphs. So here I'm going to change the plot style so that my first function, the cosine, has a red line, is thick, and has a little bit of a blur to it. And my sine function has a blue, thin, dashed line that's very sharp. So let me copy what I have here and paste it. And then right after the plot range, I'm going to do my plot style. And I need two sets of braces. The first is red, thick, and has a slight blur. And my second is blue, thin, dashed, and sharpened. There, you can kind of see that's a little bit blurry on the first one. The sharpening might be hard to see because it's a thin line anyway.